Don King issues a cease and desist for Michael Hunter v. Jarrell Miller.
I get all these emails all the time from Don King. All these emails. Sorry, continue.
He claims Hunter is still under contract. How do we feel about these active contracts for somewhat inactive fighters?
Rob sent this, and Matt had already sent it to me, and my first question was to you, I go, how old is Don? I just assumed Don King was dead at this point.
No, he's alive.
But
not very active.
I'm like, how? But also, okay, so let's back it up before we talk about the stop work order, basically. Who is signing with Don King in 2025? Do you find a time machine to 1982?
This is a little bit, I don't want to incriminate myself now that he's thrown out cease and desist left and right. I had a guy on one of my cards that I believe was under contract with Don King, and I don't think he was valuable enough for Don to send me a cease and desist.
That is a true
story. I went down to his offices like probably 8 years ago when he was really starting to slip, just to kind of write about it. And you know, his offices, you could clearly tell it was once a bustling environment with a lot of people in there. And all it was like me, Don, and like some guy that was with him. And he was like showing me his sword collection. He's got like this big sword collection. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I got to be careful around these swords. Like, I don't know what's happening.
If you put your fingerprints on them, you know.
It's like a guy who still owns an arcade or still owns like a bowling alley, and he's like, dude, these are the trophies. Like, you should have seen me. It's a different generation.
Hunter's Instagram. He just like wrote his own letter, and it was like, this serves as like a breakaway for. And I was like, I don't know if any of this.
Michael Scott, like, I declare bankruptcy.
Exactly.
I feel bad. I hope that. I think this fight's going to go through with Jarrell Miller, so I hope it does, because I feel bad for Michael Hunter. I think he's got a raw deal, man. Like, this was a former Olympian.
Oh, yeah.
Who's, his only loss is to Usyk, right? He's got a couple of draws. Yep. You know, Povetkin he had a draw against and has not been able to get an opportunity. I see him all the time around, and he's always like, how do I get a fight? When can I get a fight? What's gonna happen here? And he's been, like, this fight that Don's trying to put on is for that stupid secondary interim Pulev title that they have there. Like, I hope Mike fights Jarrell. I think Mike can beat Jarrell.
I was going to say, it's a favorable matchup. Yeah. I think, depending on how massive Jarrell Miller comes in the ring.
But Matt was saying this, right, based on it being late notice in the heavyweight, most of the heavyweight division is tied up. So if this fight doesn't happen,
it's a great fight.
There's really not a plan B that makes sense.
There was a plan B because I approached them.
Anyway, there's not a plan C.
Did you really?
I asked for Cassius. I go, look, we got a guy. He's 23-3.
Who may or may not be under contract with.
So he's 23-3. He'll take the fight on late notice. He's a great, opponent on paper. We got Miller coming off a loss and a draw. We got Cassius coming off 2 losses. I was really trying to massage them.
From Mike, that's a good fight. Mike knocked out Martin McCauley.
Yeah,
Mike can fight.
Forget that.
He can fight, man. And he can take a punch. He went the distance with Povetkin. Povetkin was pretty good. If Jarrell comes in at like close to 3 bills, he's gonna have a problem with Mike.
He is coming in close to. I think he's gigantic. Yeah. So yeah.
You guys are promoters, right?
Sure.
Right. Why don't you guys sign 10-year development deals like Don King?
Because we don't have I
haven't murdered 2 guys and gotten away with it.
Every time I make a murder joke on this, Rob's like friends with somebody, so we have to cut it.
No, because I'm not even going to say who it is. There's alleged murderers, and then there's a guy who fucking, Don King. It's
manslaughter, both manslaughter. I'm just saying,
sorry.
If we're talking about semantics, the guy's sending out...
He killed people, so he didn't murder them, he just killed them? Is that like...
We've been like...
That face stomp was self-defense, remember?
Yeah, exactly. I think he shot the guy from behind, too. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Point being is this. We never had Tommy Morrison and Mike Tyson under our promotional banners. But eventually, hopefully, we will be corrupt enough to have 10-year promotional deals.
Can I ask you a promotional question? Yeah. Like, do you think as you learn this business a little bit more every single year, like, do you protect yourselves a little more with some of these contracts with guys that can fight? Because, like, some people, like Matchroom, I think, what I've discovered with Matchroom is that they give fighters, like, 3-fight deals, then they're basically a free agent, which costs them something. Like, Richardson Hitchens right now is a free agent because they don't have any ties to him, as opposed to, like, Golden Boy, which ties these guys down till they die with some of these contracts. So is that something that you're...
It's a little bit of a mix. And again, like, I can be a little transparent with contracts. So we... Depending on who they are, if they're already established, so say it's a guy who is at the world stage, a title contender who he doesn't have a seat at the table right now. He's coming off maybe 2 losses at the biggest stage. He needs a local promoter that's going to believe in him, pay for the right fights to get him up there. We'll sign something like a 1-year 4 fight, where it's like, we'll get to the right fights, whether it's 1 or 2 fights, and then when you get to the next level, we take a very small percentage of that, and I mean very small, probably about 50% of the industry standard. And then other guys that we really believe in, we look into 2-year 6-fight deal with stipulations that if they are ranked by a major body, then there's ways to renegotiate.
Here's the thing we run into though. A big part of our leverage and our selling point is that we are the non-promoters. We're the fighter's promoter. So it's hard to take that approach and then come at them and be like, oh yeah, by the way, just sign in blood. There's a devil over my shoulder laughing. And
there's a middle ground though, right?
That's where we're finding. Yeah.
So if you bring a guy up and you give him 5-6 fights in a year and he builds his record and becomes a draw, like I think you should be protected. I don't think it's asking too much to get some protection on the back end of that.
Yeah,
my opinion.
We definitely need to talk to a better lawyer because right now our lawyer is ChatGPT. I don't know if you're familiar with them at all.
Not even like the premium version. We're at like 4.0, whatever that is now.
Someone's like, why is there a heart emoji in the middle of my contract? I'm like, just ignore it, bud. We're fine.
ChatGPT. Excellent question. Yes.
But no, we are. We 100% are.
Yeah. Do you guys run into situations at the local level where there are guys that you're interested in that have one of these long-term contracts and you're trying to get them out of it?
All the time, dude.
What's that like?
Well, I'll tell you. So I'll give you it for instance. Julian Baptiste, who's on our next card, was in a long-term deal with another local promoter. And what I did was I bought him out. So I paid the promoter and I put Julian on the card. Julian took a more reasonable purse to be on our card, knowing that we're taking the hit to pay him.
And he's taking a very tough fight.
Yeah.
Julian right now is the current Massachusetts middleweight champion. Yeah. And he's taking a very, very tough fight because we were willing to buy out his contract. Yeah.
I'll give another great example. There's this kid, Victor Reynoso, that's kind of a motherfucker. He's a tough bastard, 147. I offered him a fight with Anthony Vieira. His manager loved it. He would take it in a heartbeat. He's under contract, can't. Then the promotion that he is under contract with asked to fight Anthony Vieira, and the purse was exactly half what I offered Victor Reynoso. So you find, like, could I make that fight? Yeah, I can make that fight. And Anthony will have to fight for practically free, and I'll make no money.
Exactly. So another thing that we're very, very comfortable doing, because people love to shout out and call out people on Facebook when it comes to the local level, we put the purse in the comments. So like there's a lot of like fake ass coaches and fake ass like I try not to discredit fighters, but like when they say like, oh, so and so is afraid of me, we'll write in the comments, hey, $10,000 to fight our guy. Yeah. And we
offered this kid Dylan Roberts $10,000 to fight Chenille, and just because I knew they'd say no, and if they said yes, I'd pay just to watch Chenille kill the kid. You know what I mean? That would rule.
Yeah, and then who's the heavyweight? Where like
there was a kid. He was just a gelatinous.
It's the same, and we're like any of our Harold Roy 10K, Jared Gaines 10K, just because it wouldn't last a round. So it's like and it's such a win-win, fantastic feeling for me because either they get paid, which is great, we have plenty of money, you get paid and
we
get
don't
slept,
that's a lie, we have no money,
or you have to identify and you have to scream from the mountaintops, I am a fraud. You have to fucking announce it to the world.
As far as other guys that are on it, there's a ton of dudes. Like here's a guy
Walsh.
Kevin Walsh will probably never fight for us. I love Kevin Walsh. Rich Capiello did such a good job.
Yeah.
Like putting him up, and he's a better pro than he was an amateur. He's like 17-0. He is part of the WBC. Again, it's like the most menial part, what have you. Mm. But he stepped up appropriately, and the 2 or 3 guys that might have been able to beat him, he snuck by Tremaine Williams because he was injured, but he smoked the kid Ricky De Los Santos and the kid Irvin Gonzalez, knocked them both out, highlight reels. So a kid like that, I would love to get him.
And again, he would love to work with us. I mean, we were at Media Day before Fenway, and he's on the microphone. You can see the clip. He says, these are the best promoters in New England.
Kevin Walsh, who's the best promoters in town? Right now, definitely the Nolan brothers.
And he definitely wanted the cameras on him for that.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like
shot,
but that's his contract. Kevin's the fucking man. If he's ever out of that contract, we'll be kicking down his door to sign
Not
him.
only that, I mean, I'm giving him 2 ringside seats for our shows on Saturday.
Fucking
like, he's a good ass dude that will probably never
him.
be under contract with us because of these long-term deals.
Yeah.